very best in talk. Matters that affect you. Urgent, topical, timely.
Your number one station for talk.
We are reliable. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Lovely morning to you, Lagos. Once again, if you are just joining us, welcome. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, just type youtube.com/Nigeria Info FM. Same for Facebook as well, /Nigeria Info FM. Or just search for Nigeria Info 99.3 on the two platforms and you'll be able to watch us live right now. It's time to talk food. Yeah, I'm serious. I like food. So let's talk about food. Yeah. Because right now, if you've been to the market lately, you would know that things are very expensive. Now, why are they expensive? Have you even bothered why? I will tell you. We'll try and tell you this morning. I am Sheriff Quadry. Thank you. You can track this conversation on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. You can also follow us, of course, by sending your thought in. If you're a farmer, we would like to hear from you exactly what it takes to put our food into the markets today. I would like to know exactly what you go through every day when you visit your farm. All right? So track the conversation on our WhatsApp portal. The WhatsApp line is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. So a large number of the Nigerian households has reported moderate or severe food insecurity in the last 1 month. A large number of Nigerians. It's not that they don't have. Listen, you can have the money and just go to the market. When you get to the market, the things that you actually planned to go and buy, you discover that you're buying less and less and less of those things because you have to prioritize. What you bargained for is not what you saw when you got to the market. Now, these are not my statement. This is according to a new report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. People are finding it very difficult to buy food, even when they have the money. That's right. So it's really not that okay. About 30% of households experience severe food insecurity due to lack of money or other resources, according to the MBS, while 77% of households reported moderate or severe food insecurity. Now, the incidence of severe food insecurity in June 2020 was nearly 3 times higher than in July and August 2018. So between 1 year difference, it's gone really bad. 3 times. Difficult to get food for Nigerian households. Now, how do we double up our effort to make sure that we defeat hunger? Hunger is in the land, though. It is there. Let's be very, very realistic. Now, to talk about this on this show, I have 2 farmers on the show this morning. Dayton Abi Olaniyan is joining us. Dayton is the head of agribusiness at Stone Trust Bank Nigeria Limited. Dayton, good morning to you. It's good to have you here.
Hi, good morning, Sheriff. It's good to be here again.
It's good to see you. Oyindamola Ashaju is a founder, Farm Republic. Oyindamola, it's good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning, Sheriff. Good morning, Nigeria. Good to be here.
Okay, ladies, my farmers, my friends who are farmers. I mean, yeah, I wish I could be farmers. I wish I could be a farmer myself, but hey, somebody has to, do these things. Let me start with you, Dayton, this morning, right? Now, food is a basic necessity. Food security situation in Nigeria, you heard from my opening speech, has substantially worsened since the start of the pandemic. Now, 40%, that is, it means 4 out of every 10 of households have reported to have experienced severe food insecurity in June alone due to lack of money or other resources, according to the MBS. Now, what I want to confirm from you right now, Dayton, is that do you trust in this figure? Is this figure right? Do you believe in these statistics, or it could be worse?
I always like to a point of an average person who is on the street. The household disposable income has reduced in the last 4 months. The pandemic came just in the first quarter or the second month of the year. And we, as a nation, we thought we were prepared, but we were not. And then lockdown started in March. And now that's like the first 3 months of the year.
Right.
Traditionally in Nigeria, nothing happens in the first month of the year. So we were just getting into the swing of 2020. And then pandemic came. And then we all had to stay at home. Now, an average, according to statistics again, Nigeria we live on daily income. So when you lock people up, no choice because of the pandemic, the resources to make that daily income is missing. It's gone. It is now a case of survival. So, and that went on for 2 months.
Right.
In the first lockdown, the first thing is health and safety. So those people that would normally be on the street selling akaras, vulcanizers, plumbers, I mean, you're very, very worried about bringing artisanal people into your homes.
Very true. Very true.
So, of course, they would find it difficult to buy food. We're not talking about cost of food. We're talking about access to
money.
Nutritional food, access to money. So those are the effects of the pandemic.
Right.
So what we should look at now is how do we help to change this narrative?
Right.
It's so that the dependence on daily income, can we structure them in such a way that they would earn income, but it would not be dependent on if you don't work today,
right,
you cannot eat.
And we will get there, Dato, in a moment. Let me quickly go to Oyindamola very quickly. Oyindamola, I mean, you are the owner of Farm Republic. Let me ask exactly, because it's important we go this way as well. Like during the COVID-19 period, during the lockdown, did it affect farming? Did people stop going, to the farm? Like, did farmers stop going to the farm to cultivate?
Yeah, thank you. I can't categorically say that all farmers stopped going to the farm. Of course, some farmers still had the access to their farming communities and they were able to go, but at least over 50% of farmers were not able to go to the farm. And this is because of the lockdown, the interstate lockdown, most especially. A lot of people live in Lagos and they have a farm in Osun State and like that all over the country. So it's also important to note that this threat to food security is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. It's actually a global thing. The only difference is that depending on how we manage the situation, it will let us understand if we are going to move beyond it being a threat,
right,
or being a crisis in itself. So yes, a lot of farmers have not been able to go to the farm. We have a farm in Ondo State and we could not continue that farm because of the interstate lockdown.
Right.
And also not just the lockdown, the cost of input, which will increase the cost of production.
Right.
And then the cost of moving this farm produce from one state to the other has also increased. And so this would also tell on the purchasing power of the consumer.
Very
and that
true.
is why you see that food is expensive. It starts from the farmer before it gets to the market and then the direct consumer. So that the hike in price It started from the farmer right there on the farm. That's why you cannot escape buying expensive food.
Right.
And this threat to food security did not just start. The pandemic just blew it open. It did not just start, because we've had issues with climate change, we've had issues with food waste. The insurgency too has also affected the food security of Nigeria.
Right.
Yes, a lot of farmers have not been able to farm. Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to go to the phone lines and get Lagos's thoughts on our conversation, but I will come back to you because you have made some very valid point as to the fact that the pandemic didn't just, the food insecurity threat has always been there. The pandemic just blew it out in the open. But let's talk to Lagos first. Then when we return, we'll just take 2 calls from Lagos, after which I'll come back to you on how we can salvage the situation before we now go to Dayton, who is also on Skype right now. Glory is joining us this morning from Ikorodu. Glory, good morning to you.
Good morning, first time caller.
It's good to have you, Glory. It's good to have you.
I'm so happy.
It's good to have you.
Why not, Mr. Sheriff?
It's good to have you. It's good to have you.
Yeah, I'm a farmer.
Oh, wow. Tell us.
Now, the problem is that everything is expensive. Fertilizer, 1. Fertilizer we are buying before a bag 10,000 is now 22,000. Before, if you have a plot of land you rented for maybe 20,000, now we are renting 30.
Oh, wow.
Increase in workmanship, expensive in workmanship. When you cultivate, how much are you going to generate? 2, what makes it increase again is that the farmers, the cattle rearers, they are disturbing us. I'm calling from Ikorodu now.
Okay.
Yesterday, I went to my farm. They took a cow today on Sunday. They finished the whole vegetable.
Oh, my.
Will I be happy?
Oh, my.
It is not encouraging many people to be going to farming again. Another thing is that because, like at my age now, I'm 26. I've been looking for a job. I did not see, and that is what I'm using to pay my school fees now. And I went to the farm now. The animals have finished everything. Will it make me so happy?
No.
That will make the shortage of food in the market.
Very true.
Look at the crisis in North where the food is generating. They did not stop this Boko Haram or Fulani herdsmen. How will you expect farmers to go to farm? They will not be able to go to farm. It's affecting the farmers. And the government is not making it easy for us. They share fertilizer. They say, government share fertilizer, go there. My brother is lie. You will pay money before they give you. You pay money, they will say, go and collect form. Farm yourself a group. When you form yourself a group, to 10-10 or 5-5, at the end of the day, one person will pay like 10,000 or 15,000, and they say government is giving free fertilizer. It's your lie. That is where we have the problem.
Thank you.
And with this, it will make food to be cost in the market.
Yes, it will.
Okay, now me, I will generate. I will cultivate now. The little I have, I will still go to buy and buy another product that I cannot generate for myself.
That's right.
It will make the thing to be increased.
Very true.
This is just without stopping the headers, the farmer, the cattle, all those things. My brother, food will still continue to cost. Look at the price of cassava we are selling before, 1,200. It's now 3,000 naira a bag raw. How will you process it? How much will you? How much do you generate? It will make food to cost. So this is it.
Thank you.
The government is the problem. Most of it is from the government.
From the government.
The cattle rustler.
Okay.
And the farmer, the Fulani, the Boko Haram, all those things, they are the ones generating, making food price so high because nobody is ready to risk his life. Even I'm in the farm. Last week, that boy was challenging me that if he did not, that is why on Sunday I went to go and report in the Sabo market that they should tell them the way they are destroying my farm. A 10 rubber of vegetable seed, ugu, is 12,000, 15,000. Then I'm buying about 120,000. Then I'm coming to the farm on Monday now. Everything is level up. Will I be happy?
No, you will.
No. So that is where one of the things again. Thank you very much. I love you, all your crew, Nigeria Info. Miss you people. I love you all. Your programs, they are fantastic. I learn a lot from you people. God will give you strength, more strength, more strength.
Thank you. Thank you, Glory. Thank you. Mustafa has been on the line for a while. Mustafa, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
How are you?
Fine, sir. My name is Mustafa Ali.
Welcome, Mustafa. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Me myself, I am a farmer.
Okay.
Do you know what is caused this?
Mustafa, are you there?
We ourselves, all of us, we are farmers, but we don't have access to do farm because all those Boko Haram and Borno State. I am from Maiduguri, actually Goza local government.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to be in Lagos.
Oh, we lost Mustafa's call. Oh, so sad. I was waiting to hear, what Mustafa has got to say. But let me come to Indamola very quickly before I bring Dato on. So you talked about the fact that food insecurity has already started growing and growing before the advent of COVID. Then COVID came and blew everything out of the waters. Now we are heading into a pandemic of hunger. Not just in Nigeria here, as you have mentioned, like globally. Now, how do you suppose that we salvage this situation before it gets out of hand? Right now, according to the figures that Dayton read out earlier on, is getting increasingly expensive to have access to food not because you don't have the money, because the food is not just there. Farmers are not, there. And sometimes you don't even have access to money because you're supposed to go and buy the food, you've not worked for months. So you don't have the resources to have this food. So how do we suppose, how do you think that we can curb this before it gets completely out of hand?
Okay, thank you. I think first we all need to be aware that we need to be conscious of the fact that Nigeria cannot afford a food crisis. We cannot afford to be in a food crisis because we don't have enough in our reserves. We do not have enough. So we cannot afford to be in a food crisis, let alone manage a food crisis. We cannot afford to be in that situation. So it's, to curb this or to prevent us from being in that situation,
right,
we need to look at ourselves as citizens, as an individual. I think it's important that everybody starts to grow something in their backyard, no matter how little. Okra, vegetable, tomatoes, something, do it in your backyard. Make sure there's something coming out of your house that is feeding your household. Maybe not everything, but a little aspect of it. And then the private sector, a lot of times the private sector tries to wade into the solutions to the agriculture industry, but truth be told, they cannot do it all if they don't have the proper backing of the government. So the private sector needs to educate the public. People need to be aware of the fact that of the possibility of Nigeria being in a food crisis. And also they need to educate the public on how they can, the government, on how they can curb the food crisis or the food crisis that is looming. Then the state government too. Every state in Nigeria has an agricultural resource in abundance. Why are state governments not channeling the energy into developing these things? We need to harness, we need to explore the opportunities of every agricultural resource in our state. We cannot wait for the federal government to do everything. Now, finally, to the federal government,
right,
there is no country that is thriving in agriculture that doesn't have the support of the federal government. Agriculture is one sector that cannot thrive without the federal government. There's nothing you can do about it. So the federal government needs to secure lives and property in the sense of ending insurgency. I mean, if there is no insurgency, we will not have internally displaced persons. And when we don't have internally displaced persons, we don't need food relief. Instead of us to channel our energy into feeding the country, we are looking at IDPs, trying to bring food relief and all of that. We need to improve our market systems locally and for export. We need to improve how business is done. And then there has to be accessible technology for the smallholder farmers. Lastly, the government needs to fix farm roads. Fix our farm roads. As I speak to you, there are a lot of farmers who have their produce stuck on the farm because they cannot move it out. The road is bad. So let them fix our farm. Thank you.
Dato, let me come to you very quickly. You'd like to add a thing or two to that question as to how can we nip this in the bud before it gets out of control? How can we do this? Do you have anything to add? Because I was going to talk to you about the budgetary allocation to agriculture. But if you can add a thing or two to this.
Okay, so what are the things we produce in terms of inputs in Nigeria?
Right.
Aside from NPK, what are the closest alternatives? I agree with Onyida. We have to grow a few things in our homes. Aside from what I do here, I'm also a farmer.
Very true.
And I started farming from growing in my home. So I'm able to provide the immediate things, vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, cocoyam. We tend to forget that this is how we grew up. There are a lot of ways to grow. So that is one quick, it's like a low-hanging fruit for us to ensure that there is nutritional vegetables ready for people to eat.
Right.
That is one. I was talking about inputs. What do we produce? How expensive is it? What do we import? Is there a substitute for those things that we import that goes into the production of NPK?
Right.
And I'll come from a personal angle of it as well. I have never used NPK in my farming.
Okay. That's fertilizer.
Never. That's fertilizer.
Okay.
So I blend my own fertilizer. I call it plant food. And I'll tell you what I use. Abundant in the environment. I use bone meal, blood meal, oyster shell. There's gypsum. There's so much that we can use that is natural to us in this environment.
Okay.
Yet we all want to use NPK. What are we doing about? So we need to also look, it's not just about government.
Yeah.
Private sector also needs to look at the alternative to these things so that they are not as expensive.
Right.
To farmers. I mean, I heard the lady that said she used to buy fertilizer for 12,000. Now it's 2,000. I mean, what is she going to produce with that?
Right.
So that means someone that grows organic food would probably be more competitive, will be cheaper in the long run compared to the person that is using commercially acceptable inputs.
Yeah.
Seeds. How many germplasm facilities do we have in Nigeria? How many seeds do we produce ourselves? Sweet corn seeds is now so expensive that it is available. I mean, I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
We don't produce this. The one we produce by our breeders in Ibadan, they're not of good quality compared to the ones that are imported. Even Shoko nowadays, I see the seeds. It is one of the companies bring it and it's imported. Meanwhile, Shoko in Nigeria, Shoko is indigenous to us.
Very true.
Ewedu is indigenous
Very
to us.
true.
We have some of those seeds, but for some of the things that also eat, because Nigeria do have acquired taste. How many of these seeds are produced?
So we're not doing enough in research. We're not doing enough in local research when it comes to agricultural inputs.
No, we're not. So agricultural inputs for one. Agricultural technical inputs. So we're not talking about mechanization. I know tractors are imported into Nigeria.
Yeah.
But then how many smallholder farmers can afford those tractors? They can't. So one of the things we're doing at my organization is we're engaging with people with those tricycles that can have implements attached to them, which will be affordable to smallholder farmers.
You know, just hold on a bit. Let's go on a break. When we return from the break, before we even do anything at all, I will ask you farmers, because you have the both of you, you have said that people need to plant, in their homes for some little things. I would like for you to tell my listener how he or she can plant as little as vegetable or tomatoes or something in flower pots in their homes when we return. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. It's a morning crossfire, and we're looking at how we can curb the threats of food insecurity in Nigeria. The whole purpose of this conversation is to get solution. And we will start with that when we return. And that is starting, with the farmers on the show this morning telling you how you can be food secure in your respective homes. Stay here on Nigeria Info. It's a morning crossfire. And I'm Sheriff Quadry.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Oh, yes, we're live on our website, nigeriainfo.fm. That is nigeriainfo.fm. You can watch live right now on Facebook, facebook.com/nigeriainfo.fm. Same for YouTube as well. You can watch. Drop your comments. If you got questions for my guest, please drop your comments on our Facebook stream and, of course, our YouTube stream as well. And I will be taking your thoughts and your questions on the show, right? Okay, good. So I have two farmers on the show this morning. Dayton Abiolanio is here. Dayton is joining via Skype this morning. She is the head of agribusiness at SunTrust Bank Nigeria Limited. Oindamola Shaju is also here, the founder of Farm Republic. She rightly said during her opening speech that she couldn't even visit her farm because at some point during the lockdown, because of COVID. So there you go. Now you have reasons why, you're experiencing this food scarcity everywhere. So I'm going to start with you, Oindamola, on just one gift that I ask of you today, right? You've already given me one already by coming on the show. So another gift is that I'm requesting is so you teach the listener listening right now on what to plant conveniently in his or her home. What would that be?
Okay. A good example is tomatoes. So you get your tomato seeds, you get your fertilizer. Your fertilizer can be dried manure, poultry manure. You can get it around, but dried poultry manure. Your seeds, your fertilizer, you need sunlight, you need water, and you need the morning dew. So for tomato, you raise your tomatoes in a nursery before transplanting to an open field.
Okay.
So you raise it till it becomes a very short plant. Okay. A short plant. After about 3 weeks, then you move your plants, that short plant, to an open field. I mean, out in the open. If you cannot afford a greenhouse,
okay.
You plant your tomato, you water it, you ensure that sunlight touches it. You ensure that there's morning dew on it. You ensure that you protect it from pesticides, so that from pests. So that means you need pesticides, you need herbicides. You also need manure while it is on the farm. So those are the basics of planting tomato. It's quite straightforward if you are not doing it on a large scale. So it's something that you can control. Yes.
That's very good. Dayton, let me come to you for the second gift.
So the same question goes.
Yes, the same question.
Vegetables. We are traditionally vegetable eating nation. Okay. We like our shoko, we like our ugu, we like our ewedu, we like our yankwa, we like a lot of vegetables, and vegetables are the easiest. So what do? Take a vegetable seed, for instance, and have a small patch. You can actually create, those flower beds that we plant our flowers in. Some of them are even not well done. Excavate it, till the soil, mix it together. Mix your soil with your manure. So manure, cow dung, goat dung, dried chicken wastes. You can even do your compost. So all those food that you waste, you can mix them into the soil.
Right.
The grass that you mix them into the soil, they add value back into the soil. So you have your well-nourished soil, and then on the surface of it, just broadcast. So it's like you put some seed in your hands and you just, like you're applying salt onto your stew. So you apply this onto the soil and cover it lightly. And some okra germinates in 3 to 4 days. A lot of these vegetables germinate in 7 days.
Okay.
Okay. And once they are ready, you can thin them out so that they're not too clustered. So when you thin them out, what you have removed so that they can have spaces to breathe, you can plant them somewhere else. And I tell you, ewedu in 28 days is ready. Just go to your garden and pick. Shoko 30. in 28 to 30 days, they are ready to eat. I like, some of these tender ones are very green and nourishing.
Right.
So it means that instead of you buying all these vegetables in the markets, you can go on.
Can they be planted? Can they be planted in buckets?
Yes, so you can plant in buckets. You can plant in tires, used tires. So I like to do cycling. So any tire I remove from my car goes back into my garden.
Okay.
I just place it somewhere, add a bit of soil, mat it under. So used tires, used buckets, used paint buckets, bags, nylon sacks. There's nothing you cannot plant in. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Right now, you can even plant fruits. Growing up, all these things were part of our environment.
Yeah, talking about growing up, I will come to it later. I'll come, in fact, right now. But we need to finish up with this planting first, right? And the both of you mentioned seeds, and I'm sure my listener is wondering where do I get seeds from? I mean, how do I even get seed? Where do they get the seeds from?
Okay, so for our local vegetable seeds, you can actually get them in local markets.
Oh, okay.
500 naira, 200 naira. Not the urban, the local market. So I'm sure if you go to places like Mushi Market, you'll find people selling those seeds.
Okay.
Even for pepper, if you go to Oyigbo Market or Idom Market, you'll find malams that sell seeds of peppers, of tomatoes. You just buy a little. It's just a little that you would buy. And once you harvest, what I always do is I leave some and allow it to dry. Thereby, I can also cultivate my own seeds and have my own seed bank for my garden.
Oh, beautiful. Oyindamola, how do they get tomato seeds?
Most times we plant for commercial purpose. So as Mrs. Adeton has said, you can go to the local markets to get the local seeds. And then if you're looking at hybrid seeds, you can just walk into an agro shop where they sell watering cans, where they sell seeds, where they sell agricultural materials for input supply. Just walk into a store, you see that they sell these hybrid seeds. I mean, seeds that give you a higher yield of your crops.
Fantastic.
And seeds can also be gotten from the peppers and the tomatoes that you bring back home from the market. Yes. Some of these seeds have already been tropicalized. They might not necessarily be a hybrid. So they could become F2. But at least they will still provide something. You're not growing them for commercial purpose. You're growing them for home use.
Okay. So
you can get your from things that vegetables that you bring back from the market.
Indeed. Let's go to the phone lines, ladies. We'll take a few calls from Lagos right now, and we'll take some messages as well from WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All our socials. We'll take messages from them because I know that there's a lot of people. We have a lot of people trying to join the conversation this morning. For instance, Samuel is here, and Samuel is calling in from Shagamu. Let's quickly speak with Samuel. Samuel, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning. Please, I just want to ask a question. Whether you said this morning that Jimmy Diso has joined your station.
Yes, please.
Hello. Please, when will he be featuring?
Don't worry. You hear that very soon. All right.
Okay. Then what about Wemimo Adewuni?
Wemimo is still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long time I've heard from her.
All right. She's still around. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Let's speak quickly with Akuns. Akuns, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Quadry.
Good morning.
I'm very happy. My Quadry, we're in trouble. We are talking now, I don't know where you get this idea, this sense. You know that this country is finished. We don't have any food now. This COVID-19 opened our bottom to the whole world. We are answering the giant of Africa. Before you answer a giant of a country, you make sure that other countries are coming to your country. without their country, they can't feed. We was before eating well.
Right.
From other countries, coming from borders, we are jubilating. Our president come up and say we have to make our own. Okay, now before we make our own foods, you have to prepare it. All the farmers, you have them render them very good help. Trackers, and the other things we use to farm that farm, you make it ready for them.
Right.
The stabilizers will be there, plenty. You can export. Everything you have will be sufficient. If the food we have here is full, and we try to export without getting any other thing to do, we close our borders. But you must make a law that will hold those farmers. Anybody who go into the farmer house and destroy even one lane of food will go to jail for 5 years. Talkless of going there and killing them, shedding their blood, finish their crops. How are they going to produce this thing to us? What can provoke them to go into that bush and wasting their time and wasting their life? You see people holding rifles with cars, killing them. You do not say, this is law that we put for them, for these people to secure, because of our food. Let me tell you, this COVID open our eyes. Before next 2 years, we cannot have anything to do. We better open our border. Let us get something out there to support our own before these people we get it right and get more food.
Thank you, Akos.
We don't have any other thing to eat. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's speak with Solomon quickly. Hi, Solomon. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Seriously, I really welcome. I like your program, seriously.
Thank you.
And you are trying to tell us that everybody.
Hello, Solomon.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go on. Go on, Solomon.
You are telling us that everybody should prepare.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate the word of encouragement.
Right.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just calling to appreciate the discussion this morning. Quickly, before we have our next caller, I have Charles here. Charles says, I've listened to your guest and I quite appreciate their analysis. I remember it was President Obasanjo that actually initiated this idea of domestic gardens. But let me ask, how many people have the privilege of space in their compounds for gardens? How many people have access to running water to water their vegetables and other crops, especially during the dry season, to ensure all year-round availability? Charles sent that in. So what we're saying is you can plant what your family will consume so that it can reduce the burden and the load on your own personal expenses. That is the solution that we're trying to proffer this morning. Edmond is in Satellite Town. Edmond, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Yes. I hope my radio is not interrupting.
It is. You need to turn it off.
It's gone off now.
Okay,
right.
Go on, Edmond.
Now, this insecurity is the main issue. You know that the ladies just calling, they have done well in what they are in their own analysis. But you know that we are not talking about small, what I call petty farming. We're looking at it's across the nation. Food insecurity is an issue right now. Mm-hmm. The people who have been farming in the north, they have been displaced. It's been a grand plan by this insurgency to destabilize food supply. And so they send their people down here in the south to give us problems in the farms. As I speak with you, I have an acre of land that I am just about to go and farm vegetables in the Moe axis. And this insecurity has been an issue. People are telling you, if you come in here, these malams will come, very soon they will come to destabilize your market, your farm. This is a problem.
Right.
And this has to be tackled. I can tell you that insecurity in any nation brings all the problems. And the leaders, the president, they are like not like at this calabatic. It has to be done. Right. The state governors have to understand. This is Lagos State. Long time ago, during Tinubu, they stopped cows from marching through the streets. That is what we should do. Not tell this. How can people carry guns and come to meet you in the farm? Go to the villages. That is their intention.
Yeah.
Stop the people in the south from farming, so that they can then they are then able to foster their own agenda of capturing the rest of the country. Even if we are going to be captured, shouldn't we be fed?
Abi,
So
you eat now.
This idea is let there be security for farmers.
Thank you, Edmond. I appreciate it. Chartered analyst on Twitter says the cause, we pretend to be too cute to get our hands dirty. Solution, we should embrace both backyard and front yard gardening. Alongside those flowers, grow veggies, ugu, ewedu, rodo, etc. Use perforated poly bags, loamy soil, manure, water, seeds. I do this so I understand. I'm glad that we're proffering solution this morning. We're proffering the solution. Let's see who we've got here. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost this. Let's see. Okay, so our phone lines have gone bonkers. So let me come to you, ladies, because we're fast. Our time is fast spent. I'm going to start with you, Dato, and we're wrapping off right now. A lot has been said about the lack of deep agricultural tutoring from our schools. You were going to make that point earlier on. Because back in the day, I remember very well, I had a farm when I was in school. I had a group that they put us together and we cultivated, I think corn. Yeah. We had this small farm that we cultivated corn in an agri class. I'm not sure that it's still the practice today. I don't know. But how do you think that we can strengthen this agricultural knowledge? Because I think that a lot of people don't actually have the knowledge to practice agriculture. That is why most people are not looking into that direction. Or what say you? How can we make sure that people fall in love with farming?
If you love food, you love farming. That's the first thing to say. And if you like good food, nutritional food, then you will still like farming. So it's not about, everybody cannot farm. We need people in other areas of agriculture as well.
Right.
Agriculture is as wide as the oil and gas. It's a natural resource. So to get people to farm, you need to get them to understand why you have to cultivate that 2 square meters in your house. When you grow at home, I started farming from growing things in my house. I needed to have access to herbs and vegetables that are fresh and nutritional and are naturally grown. So if we value life in this present state that we're in this present situation, then we would want to grow the things we eat. It doesn't demand a lot of attention from us.
Right.
Not as much attention as tinkering with our cars will take. For those that like, it doesn't ask us, it doesn't require a lot of money. Farming, nope. Well, like I said, when we were in school, in my secondary school, we planted yam, we planted groundnuts, we planted maize, we had agri-science. So going back to home, the schools need to encourage a lot of creativity around planting, even if they don't have land.
Right.
We can plant in sacks. I've got tons and tons of sacks in my house. All I do is plant with them. They can plant in sacks in flower pots, in all those small beds. Some food can actually look like flowers and they would look good. I mean, have you seen shoko flower? The beautiful bright pink flower it brings that produces its seeds. That's flower. The Oyinbos will call it coxcomb. There's actually a plant that is like shoko. It's called coxcomb. In fact, they would refer to shoko and coxcomb. So when we start from our youth, which was how we started in those days, and then the interest will be created. When you grow a little bit for yourself, you sell the rest to your neighbors. You earn additional income. when you see yourself earning that income and you'll be like, you mean I can make a little bit of money from here? Okay, I'd like to take this further.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't grow in large quantity, get people to grow for you. If you have land, you can put 3, 5, 10 people on your land, depending on the size, and portion it, provide services.
Right.
You don't have to farm it.
Right.
Or you have the land. And then create services on that land for them to come and farm. They will pay for those services as long as it is affordable, and you are seeing that the land is being used. There's so many green areas within Lagos Metropolis.
Very true.
What says us converting some of these areas into green food belts? How many flowers can we eat? But we'll eat food. You know?
Yeah,
so
I do.
What we do? Teaching people is not as much as instilling that interest in them. If you teach them and they don't have that interest,
right,
then one will be wasting our time. So the people that are interested right now, what are we doing with them? How are we encouraging them?
Right.
Like my colleague said, Oyidamola, the roads to the farms are bad. If you are complaining about the road to the farms, I think we're taking it too far.
Right.
The roads on the streets of Lagos,
yeah,
you see a lot of construction work going on. One small rain, the entire place is flooded. You know,
not to now talk of the roads leading to the farm. We're fast running out of time, but I need to quickly get your thoughts on this. Dayton said that those that are interested should be encouraged. Just lately, I think some days ago, the federal government, the CBN, came out with the provision with a loan, non-interest loan, to farmers, and other sectors as well. But since we're talking agriculture, so let's focus on the farmers. Like, they can have access to loan and then pay back with no interest whatsoever. How far do you think this will go in boosting agriculture in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. I agree with a lot of things that Mrs. Adetun has said, and I want to pick it up from there. The issue of the agricultural knowledge, it's there. A lot of young people are interested in agriculture. A lot of people that come to my startup, Farm Republic, to say, hey, I want to sell this, I want to sell this farm produce, are young people. So the idea of interest is there. And there's also the part where we need to encourage people to do more, because agriculture is a business.
Right.
And at some point in agriculture, you need to scale. So the idea of the federal government issuing loans and things like that, the real question is how many people, how many smallholder farmers, how many young farmers like myself actually have access to this money? That's the real question. The real question. Sorry. How many people actually have the access? Again, what I realize is a lot of times the federal government rolls out initiatives. But if you look well, you'll see that a lot of these initiatives are not tailored to the needs of farmers per location.
Wow.
What is applicable to a farmer in Nasarawa is not applicable to a farmer in Ondo State. So when the federal government is rolling out initiatives, rolling out loans, let's be sure that these loans, these initiatives are actually solving the problems of farmers. So next year, we don't roll out the same initiatives again. Young people are interested. So this is not a matter of getting people interested in agriculture.
Yeah.
A lot of young people are interested in agriculture, are already in agriculture. How do you encourage these young people? How do you boost their businesses when they don't have access to
what is stopping Oyedamola, what is stopping these young people from having access to these loan facilities? What could be the problem?
Sometimes it's a matter of how long you have been in the business. You know, it's difficult for a lot of times. Loans are issued based on trust. Now, maybe you've been in the business for 1 or 2 years, and it's just really difficult to give a young person that kind of amount of money. Maybe you're asking for 2 million to boost your business, and in the end, you are getting 200,000 naira. you can really not scale with that amount of money. I think the federal government needs to create platforms that allow young farmers or smallholder farmers to tap into these loan schemes to actually, not what we see on the media. Actually,
okay.
So encourage young farmers, really. It's not just finance, it's about market systems. A lot of farmers need to understand what to plant, how to plant, when to plant, and who to plant for. And fixing our farm roads, I'll keep saying it, because a lot of times I'm on the road to the farm. Fixing our farm roads is really going to change a lot of things in the agricultural space.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Oindamola Ashaju, founder Farm Republic, thank you so much for joining Morning Crossfire today. Many thanks to Dato Abiolani as well, head of agribusiness at SunTrust Bank Nigeria Limited. Thank you, Dato. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. Always a pleasure to be.
Lagos, that is the show today. We have had a great time talking and, of course, proffering solutions to the issue of, food security in Nigeria. But before we go, shall we give 10,000? Are you ready? Ready? Let's give you 10,000 naira on the show this morning. Oh, it's 993 993 993.
This is Just a Minute on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Sheriff.
Who am I speaking with?
My name is Stella.
Stella, you play Just a Minute?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So let's play, Stella.
All right.
All righty. Here we go. We're about to play Just a Minute.
This is Just a Minute.
Your first question, Stella, is the first Nigerian info major news of the day is broadcast at what time?
The first Nigerian info.
Major news of the day is broadcast at what time?
Okay, 6 a.m.
Okay. The first caller, a female, during our discussion earlier on food security is a 1, banker, 2, farmer, 3, civil servants. Which one?
She's a farmer.
Okay. What is the Nigeria Info Instagram handle?
Yes, sorry.
Jimmy Disu has just joined the Nigeria Info family. He will be officially unveiled on air on what day?
Wow. I think he guessed.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. No, it's not tomorrow. August 1. Earlier on the show, my two guests took us through how to plant certain vegetable. Which plant is that exactly?
Ugu.
Okay. All right. So I just want one, but you're right, though. So Stella is your name. Your time is up. You got 3 questions correctly. All right. So what you're going to do, Stella, is stay on the line. A lady would speak with you right now to get your details. Is that okay? Okay. So I guess Stella is being attended to right now. Lagos, thank you for being a part of Crossfire today. It's always great to know that you are there. We'll bring you the news right now, pick some bills, and then What's Up Lagos with Colin Steke would take off. Good morning to you.